So hi everyone, my name is Maxwell. I'm a senior here. I guess you have to be. I'm super excited to be speaking to you all today. I want to, before I get started, give a huge shout out to my mentors, Charlie Morrison and Kenya Mendoza. I truly would not have been able to do this without them, so thank you. I appreciate you, and I'm excited to get going. Okay, so in my senior year of high school, I completely missed Halloween. And I mean that in both senses of that word missed. First, I missed it in terms of time. I was so busy that month of October that when October 31st rolled around, I didn't even realize what time of year it was, and I celebrated kind of half-heartedly that night, but really didn't get any of the Halloween experience that year. And then I also missed Halloween in the more emotional sense. I felt like because I had kind of not recognized where time was leading me that time, I kind of lost something. Because that was my senior year, it was an exciting time, and I didn't celebrate Halloween with my friends really. And that's a really sad feeling to realize that this holiday that's been a kind of an instrumental part of your life leading up is now something that kind of can be forgotten about. And I think there are two main reasons as to why I forgot Halloween in my senior year of high school. The first reason is going to be on the next slide, and I just want to let you know that this next slide is the biggest jump scare I have in my presentation, so don't be alarmed. It's coming out. So I'm sure that many of you probably have had a similar experience, but when I was in high school, my high school counselor was like, you should have, if possible, all of your college applications in by October 31st. So in my senior year, Halloween became not a holiday, but a deadline. And that showed me for the first time that holidays like that are able to become things that aren't necessarily special, but are just normal kind of adult days that aren't special. So I had spent that entire month working on applications, doing all the other things that seniors do, and then just kind of living the course of my life, I had missed something that was really important to me because I love Halloween, something I've loved since I was a kid. So because of this, I made a vow that I was going to celebrate Halloween for the rest of my life. No matter what was happening, no matter what actual real life-changing things were happening in my life, I was going to celebrate Halloween. So flash forward a calendar year. Ooh, spooky. And while my senior year was really busy and stressful, it was also in some ways one of the best years of my life so far. I have never been closer with my high school friends than I was in my senior year. I had a lot to look forward to, a lot of hope. And a year after that point, I was not in that same place. My first year here at WashU was also the peak of COVID. So the seniors here will remember, but the rest of you might not. We were not even allowed in any dorms other than our own. We really weren't even allowed to meet people. So I was very, very lonely in my first semester here. Kind of the loneliest I've ever been, I think. And I didn't really have a way to get out. On Friday nights, I was sitting in my room by myself, not knowing who to go to, where to turn to. And that was really tough because I felt like people were judging me and was feeling very self-conscious about not having friends. So in that time, as we kind of transitioned into October, I'm about 2 months in, I remembered the vow that I had made myself the year prior to always celebrate Halloween. And even though at this point in my college experience, I didn't have anybody to celebrate Halloween with, I decided I was going to keep that promise to myself. So in my freshman year, I went to the store and bought myself a family-sized bag of candy. I watched whatever scary movies I felt like. I curated myself a Halloween music playlist on Spotify, whatever Halloween music is, and kind of threw it all on there and celebrated on my own. And it's kind of incredible how much that actually really helped me adjust to life in college. Now, doing that on my own didn't help me make friends. It didn't help me kind of get outside of my shell quite yet. What it did help me do is bridge those two different parts of my life and connect me to the high school experience and even before that to my childhood in this new space that didn't really quite feel like home yet. So by celebrating Halloween and connecting those two very, very separate parts of my life, I felt much more like myself when I was here at WashU. And that was something that I think really helped me and gave me kind of the, maybe not the strength is the right word, not the courage. Those are two lofty words. But it enabled me to really break out of my shell a little bit later because I felt more like myself after celebrating Halloween on my own here. And it felt silly to kind of be sitting in my room by myself watching movies and eating candy, but I feel like if that's what helped me, why not? So now, spoiler alert, the end of the story is much happier. This was me this year, carved a jack-o'-lantern because jack-o'-lanterns are super slay. So that was mine this year. And now that I'm a senior and I love all my friends here, I'm so happy. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. I don't need Halloween as that same kind of connective safety blanket to my past. But it's still a really great thing that helps me kind of recenter myself around this time of year where the days are starting to get shorter, things are getting darker. Now I'm applying to grad school, so I'm in a lot of the same places I was in senior year of high school. And it helps to kind of recenter yourself. So even if you don't need it as something to kind of connect different parts of your life, it can be a really helpful thing to kind of recenter yourself. So that's why I still, as soon as October 1st rolled around this year, I was like, oh, it's time for the Halloween playlist. So whenever I'm riding the shuttle to and from campus, that's what I'm listening to. I just watched The Exorcist for the first time the other day with some of my friends. That was excellent. So celebrating Halloween as an adult is a really great way to kind of recenter yourself, or any holiday, and connect yourself to your past. But if you remember, I said at the beginning there were two different reasons that I forgot about Halloween in my senior year of high school. Being busy and life stuff was one of them. But another was that I was no longer watching Disney Channel, which seems a little bit silly, but I realized that when I watched Disney Channel as a kid, I was constantly exposed to signals like this that showed you what time of year it was. Every time it cut to commercial, you realize that the month was not October, but Monstober. There was all kinds of songs. Shout out to China Anne McClain with Calling All the Monsters, which is the title of my K-Talk. You should listen to it. It's really much more professionally done than I think you would expect as an adult. But you were constantly exposed to Halloween themed episodes, and you really knew what time of year it was because of the media you were consuming. And all of your friends at school, if they were fortunate enough to have cable, were also kind of exposed to these same kinds of cues. And so you built community around that time of year as well. But now, that's no longer the case. And this isn't necessarily just because of Disney Channel, it's because of the way that the media landscape has changed for everybody. So, as an example, one of my favorite TV shows is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I'm sure some of you know Brooklyn Nine-Nine is very well known for its Halloween-themed episodes, Halloween heists. Consistently some of the best episodes of that show. And when you were originally watching that show as it was airing live, you would see those Halloween episodes around Halloween. And it would once again make you feel the time of year that you were living in. But nowadays, when you stream Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the middle of February, you watch all those Halloween episodes completely out of season. So the kind of social cues of the media you're consuming don't really mean anything. And on top of that, you have so many more options to choose from now than you did when everything was just kind of on TV live at the moment. So this is just kind of, you type in horror on Netflix, what comes up, it scrolls on for pages and pages and pages. And without having social cues kind of from your peers or people who are talking to you about what movies or shows to go watch, you really don't know what to pick, except for what your algorithm tells you to pick. So you could very feasibly sit down, look horror on Netflix, and pick one of these movies that no one else in this room had ever seen before. And you really don't have that way to connect with them on that culture when it's so spread out and so decentralized, which is a really hard thing and makes celebrating holidays and feeling that communal aspect a lot harder as well. But, oh, that was a huge voice crack, oh my God. Should have brought my water up here with me. But there are ways that now we, especially us, Gen Z, have kind of supplemented this new media landscape through social media, and especially TikTok. So I don't know about you all, but I've been receiving so many fall edits on all my social media platforms, reminding me what season it is, in the same way that those cut to commercials would have in the past, and encouraging me to explore those things that will remind me of the season and make me feel like this time of year is special. So I have kind of three examples here. In the middle is Brooklyn Nine-Nine, call back to earlier, but I also have Over the Garden Wall and Gilmore Girls, both classic seminal fall shows that get you in the spirit of the time of year and once again make time feel special. It's not kind of just the normal drag. You're feeling like this time of year is unique and you have to experience things while that lasts. So social media is a really great way to kind of build those communities around a special time of the year. So I think that this has kind of replaced that past landscape, and this is also much more intentional than the kind of passive media experience that you would have had watching broadcasts in the past. So So you have to kind of go out of your way to follow up on these and to watch the shows and to also encourage your friends to do the same so you're able to connect with them. To tell them to watch Over the Garden Wall, which I will also tell all of you because it's fantabulous. And build that community yourself. It isn't just given to you. In the same way that when you're a kid, you have maybe a Halloween party or something that parents plan or through the school, you go door to door and you get candy from people, and those special things are given to you. As an adult, no one cares. Nothing is given to you. You have to go out of your way to make those things feel special. And here's where consumerism maybe isn't a bad thing. And now, I know saying that to a room of college students at Washington University in St. Louis might be a little bit of a hot take, but what I have realized through this kind of whole journey that I've taken is that in order to be the best version of yourself, you have to make sure that you're caring for yourself. And you have to be very intentional with that care. Because as you transition out of being a kid into an adult, people aren't going to just automatically care for you. So you have to be very specific about going out of your way to do things that make yourself happy. And for us, especially people living on budgets or who might not have a ton of time on their hands, and this goes for anyone, not just college students, cheap consumerism is a really easy way to do that. So if you want to tie yourself back to nostalgia you have from when you're a kid or memories you have with friends in college, I'm sure we're probably not going to have nearly as many Halloween parties as we transition out of this space. Things like this, Spirit Halloween, those are great ways to kind of connect yourself to that past, really on a dime. And what also is really unique about being an adult and celebrating a holiday is you have so much choice. I know sometimes it can feel like that capitalism is trying to control you, and it definitely is, but there are also ways that you can customize that to suit what you enjoy. So if you love Almond Joy, buy yourself Almond Joy. If you don't like candy corn, do not buy candy corn. Do the things that make you happy and pick and choose what is most special to you, because that will make you feel so much better. And there's so many options out here now that enable you to do that. And I think that is a very unique experience that we here in this room and really no one else in the history of world will have. We are coming of age at a time and gaining more control over our lives in a period where there is so much more to control than ever before. There's so much to customize, so much to choose from, and we're people who really haven't had that much autonomy in our lives up until this point. So now there's so much to choose from that it makes it a very kind of unique dynamic. So now to kind of wrap up. Oh my gosh, totally got tossed. In the post-Disney Channel era, sometimes you just have to do things to connect yourself to things that made you happy when you're a kid. I can't find my sleeve. Oh no, this is going so poorly. You know, I'll leave it like that. Give him here. I look like a damn fool. But if this is what makes you happy, do it. Because time is special. We're only have a finite amount of time on this planet. I know we all know that. That seems way deeper than kind of the purview of this kind of silly setting right now. But it is true. Time is special, and it doesn't always feel like it is. When you're caught up in the flow of your life, time doesn't always feel like every single second is something to be enjoyed and to be celebrated. So you have to be very intentional. I've used that word a lot, but I think it's true. You have to be very intentional about making sure that you are making your time feel special. Wow, I'm totally going like motivational speaker. Oh my gosh. But I think that's important. We're only here for a finite amount of time, and I think that if you can make that time feel special in any way possible, that's what makes life worth living. This is a picture of me in elementary school at a Halloween party at my elementary school. You don't see my mask because we weren't allowed to wear masks, but I was like a total like goblin-y type guy. And I don't remember this day. I have no recollection of what went on, how I was feeling about things, but I remember the way it felt deep inside me. I remember the way it felt in my core. I have nostalgia for a memory that I don't even have. And I think that connecting yourself to that little boy there, well, not him specifically, but that version of you, and becoming at peace with the different parts of your life and making sure that you're connecting them all together into a wholer version of yourself is the best way to make sure that you're ready, that you're feeling rested, and are able to kind of achieve the changes that you want to make in your life and grow and focus on other people. So that's something that I've learned, and as silly as celebrating Halloween as an adult can be, it's also a great way to make sure that you're at your best, at your most vital, and able to be the person that you want to be. And that's what I got.
Woo!
Thanks, everybody. If you want a link to my Spotify playlist, my Halloween Spotify playlist, let me know.